Here's a weird fact about the Police Recruitment Online Assessment Centre briefing element of the assessment. You're going to be given a scenario to deal with. The thing is, the police don't deal with this kind of scenario. We understand from trolling forums it's actually a bullying at a college incident. I can promise you this, the police don't deal with that kind of incident. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to tell you why they don't deal with it. I'm also going to give you some tips about how to approach the briefing exercise. Pin your ears back, folks. This is going to be really, really useful for you. First of all, who am I and why should you listen to anything I've got to say? My name is Brendan from Bluelight, and over the past 31 years, I've been supporting people just like you to succeed in the recruitment process, promotion boards, specialist interviews. I was a serving officer for 28 years. Over 16,000 people have succeeded. We've got over 800 five-star Trustpilot reviews. Our coaching team is awesome. We're so awesome that we actually guarantee the result. If you don't pass, we give you a full refund. That's how good our Academy program is. More details about that in the description or comments below, depending on where you're watching this. All right, let's dive in. First of all, it's not a policing problem. So the scenario they're giving you about bullying at a college. I was a neighbourhood policing inspector for 8 years, and I was a response inspector as well for several years. And I know from my experience in policing and from my contacts in policing still that the police wouldn't get involved in this. We would not dispatch an officer to go and deal with a bullying incident at a college. We'd expect the college to have their own systems and processes in place to be able to deal with bullying without contacting the police. Otherwise, like half the police officers in the country would deal with nothing but bullying incidents at colleges and schools. I also know this because I was a governor at my kids' school for 7 years, and I'd be absolutely horrified if the head teacher or the safeguarding lead contacted the police about this kind of bullying incident. I'd be like, what were you thinking about? Because if Ofsted came along to investigate, not investigators, they don't investigate, they inspect. An Ofsted inspection, Ofsted would be like hauling the governors in, just saying, what were you doing? What were you thinking of? And so we have to put ourselves in College of Policing La La Land. In College of Policing La La Land, the police do investigate incidents like this. So this is why Special Constables and PCSOs fail the online assessment centre, because they're coming from a perspective of reality. So they're answering all of these 12 3-minute questions. You've got 3 minutes to answer each one of them from a policing perspective, a reality perspective. Like, well, first of all, I'd advise the college that we're not going to get involved. Right, you're not getting any marks then, are you? Because you're only going to get the marks if you get involved. Is that making sense? No, it makes no sense whatsoever. But look, College of Policing world. The last incarnation was a noisy party. The police don't deal with noisy parties. Never have done, never will. Why? Because we've got no tools and powers to do so. So anyway, we've got to humour the College of Policing, and the golden rule applies. Those who hold the gold make the rules. They make the rules. So we've just got to work in their world, in La La Land. Right, so we need to bear in mind vulnerability. Now, of course, all schools and colleges will have a way of assessing vulnerability and dealing with that vulnerability, but we're going to have to apply a police system to this, which is threat harm risk. Coming up with a safeguarding plan, we're going to do that in collaboration with the school, the individual concerned, the parents of the individual. Oh, this gets tricky. What if the person's 18? They're an adult. What if they're 17? They're an adult. Yeah, that's interesting. So would they need the parents to be involved? All questions that we explore in our Academy program. So, but we do need to collaborate in coming up with that safeguarding plan with the school, partner agencies, and those involved. What else do we need to do? Oh, we think from trolling forums and trolling the internet and using ChatGPT deep research, really, really useful tool, that there's probably a hate crime involved, or it might be a hate incident. Now, this is going to get really confusing because a lot of forces have just declared, and it's October 25 now, that they're not going to investigate or record hate incidents anymore. So that might confuse you because you'd be scratching your head thinking, yeah, but the police don't deal with that. Remember, College of Policing La La Land. Anything they put in front of you, the police deal with. But if it's a hate crime, then that's different. If a crime has occurred, then we need to utilize our investigation plan, which would involve the 5 building blocks. We protect the person, we protect the scene, we recover evidence from the scene, we look for witnesses, also using CCTV. And the 5th stage is dealing with the suspect. And we deal with the suspect not by enforcement and sending everyone to court. We deal with them through things like out-of-court disposals, restorative approaches. Right, there you go, folks. Plenty of tips for you to help you with the briefing exercise. It's a good foundation for you there. If you'd like to find out more about joining our Academy program so we can go in depth in detail and actually guarantee you a pass, which is what we do. If you don't pass, we give you a full refund. Then check the description below, or might be something in the comments, depending on whether you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook or elsewhere. Hopefully it's been useful for you, and I'll catch you on the other side.